The Washington football team says it is aware of pictures on social media showing quarterback Dwayne Haskins not wearing a mask while attending an event with strippers over the weekend. According to ESPN's John Keim, who covers the team, Haskins is telling people he hired the strippers for a private party at a hotel suite. One way or another, Haskins, who has made his Twitter account private, posted a statement before doing so, and the statement says, "I want to publicly apologize for my actions this past Sunday. I spoke with Coach Rivera yesterday, took full accountability for putting the team at risk. It was irresponsible and immature of me, and I accept responsibility for my actions." So let's come out and talk about this here. It's obviously not a fun topic. And Graziano, let us start with you. What can you tell us about the way the organization is reacting?
Well, they're upset, obviously. They're likely to discipline him in some way. What form that takes remains to be seen. He's already been fined once this year for a COVID violation. It's conceivable, due to the concept of escalating discipline, that he could be suspended. But Washington has a tricky situation because they don't know if Alex Smith is going to be back and healthy in time to play this weekend. They are trying to win their division. Taylor Heineke is the only other quarterback on the roster. They may need Haskins to play this weekend, and that's what makes it most disappointing for them. They were hoping that this young man, in his second year in the NFL, would start to show a higher level of professionalism, a higher level of maturity than what they've seen behind the scenes from him. And obviously, an incident such as this shows that he isn't.
And how about just COVID speaking, taking all of the judgment pieces out of it, if indeed that he is there on Sunday, he's not in masks, they're not in masks. I assume there's testing and all the rest of that. Like, do we know for certain he's even going to be eligible to play this weekend?
Well, all NFL players and personnel are tested every day. So if he was exposed and he tests positive, then he would have to go on the COVID-19. If they found out, this is going to sound silly, if they found out someone he was with in the video had tested positive, then he would have to obviously be on the COVID list as a close contact. But I don't think that's going to affect his availability, just the fact of the video, the fact of his interaction. But, I mean, you know, the stuff you're hearing, like, people are yelling into the phone, you're talking to him. His coach had cancer. Like, how do you put your team and how do you put the people around you at risk like this? Just a crazy, ludicrous decision for him to make.
As I said on the radio yesterday, this is not a moral judgment. This is a judgment. It is a judgment. It is about the judgment that he shows or doesn't. Ryan Clark, I'm just going to give you the floor here. When you heard this story, what thoughts went through your mind?
It's unacceptable. It truly is, and it shows a lack of self-awareness. It shows a lack of empathy. It shows a lack of concern and compassion for those around you. This is one of those things, like, if you don't care about yourself, care about the other people. Care about Ron Rivera, who we were all just excited, got an opportunity to ring the bell after his last chemotherapy treatment. Care about the players in your locker room. Care about your family members. Care about the other guys in this league. Care about your peers, the staff members. And also, don't be a dummy, right? DBD, don't be dumb. There's a perception of you that you are unprofessional. There's a perception of you that you are immature. So you're just going to hand it to him on a platter? You're not going to think that pictures are going to be taken? You're not going to think that videos are going to be out? And listen, everybody like to get their T-Pain on every now and then, right? Make it rain, get bands, do those things. Don't do them in 2020 during the football season. Don't do them during a pandemic. Don't do them when you have people around you who are at high risk. And the other part of it is, and I know people get tired of hearing about black and white, but let's be honest. Black quarterbacks have had to fight a perception of not being smart, of not being professional, or not having the level of accountability to play the position. And in the year where 4 of the quarterbacks that got elected to the Pro Bowl are black quarterbacks, this is another setback. This is another opportunity for people to say, see, I told you, look at this. Right? They said that he wasn't smart enough. They said that he didn't work hard enough. They said that he wasn't professional enough. And now you give them a reason to continue talking. So you can just miss all of the things that I mentioned before about your head coach that shows that you don't care about him. You can miss all of the things that says, okay, you are not protecting the people around you. And just think about it from a football perspective, from a leadership perspective. This is unacceptable. It needs to be punished. It needs to be addressed. I don't know how you can do that because you need him to play quarterback this week, but this cannot happen.
Dominique, what do you think?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's hard to add anything to what Ryan said because he put it so perfectly. It sounds like a grown-up talking. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like Dwayne Haskins is there. But I don't need to pile on Dwayne Haskins. Everybody's already made it clear why this was done, dumb, and unacceptable. And to Ryan's point, like going to a shake club or having some dancers over to your suite, like that's not that big of a deal if you don't take into account all the context that we have surrounding you and surrounding this current situation. So I think that's what makes it so disappointing. And to another one of Ryan's points that he just made, you said if people are tired of hearing black and white, like I frankly don't care. Then they can get us off TV because I don't think that's something that we can separate from the sports world in this situation. I do think that it's important. It's unfair that there's a different expectation and a different level of responsibility for black men or black people, frankly. But it is true. And it happens. When you do things like this, it reinforces the conscious or unconscious biases that exist out there that hold people back like you. So you have a responsibility to your coach. You have responsibility to your team. You have responsibility to your family. You have responsibility to your community. But you have responsibility as a black man, as a black quarterback. And I believe, Ryan, this is the second year in a row that we had 4 black quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl. So we're headed in the right direction as far as quarterbacks are concerned. And I know that Dwayne Haskins, whether he woke up and watched this show this morning or not, is not looking for all this weight or baggage. But whether you know you're carrying it or not, you are carrying it. It's a part of your responsibility. It takes some of us longer to learn that than others. And then from a football standpoint, all that really matters is how well you play. As sad as that is, that's all that really matters. We've all been on teams and we've all watched games and watched teams and seen guys make awful decisions off the field. But you know what? If they ball, we find ways to excuse it. We find ways to say popular or say positive things about them. The problem for Dwayne Haskins is he has all the physical ability in the world, but he's falling short. He's a bust by all measures right now, and it's not because of his physical abilities. And that's what makes this really harmful to him, is this like echoes the reason why he's been unsuccessful on the field.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.